folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever. The Bill Crane Report is on the air again with my good friend Dwayne Weiss. And we're here to annoy you, educate you, amuse you,
Irritate you?
So with that in mind, we got a lot of stuff to talk about as usual. And I'm going to kick off with President Biden. He's meeting today, I think maybe as we speak, with Rishi Sunal, who is Prime Minister of Great Britain. And his motive, he put out a press release, Sunal did, saying that he looks to deepen economic cooperation between the UK and the US. Well, I mean, that's just common sense. We should be working closely and
Absolutely.
have a special arrangement with Great Britain. They're our best ally. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at Great Britain, you look at Japan, Canada. Who else do we have that we trust?
That's consistent?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody that's that consistent because
Yeah.
the rest of the European countries go hot and cold.
Absolutely.
Germany goes hot and cold. France
Yep.
is more cold than hot.
Yep. Of that whole bunch in NATO, the one that I have the most respect for is Poland.
Yeah. They're out of that bunch, they're probably the most consistent.
Yeah. And you know, their fat is in the fire. I mean, they're right on the border with Russia.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been overrun by the Russians. How many times
Oh,
in
my
their
God.
history?
Not only the Russians, everybody took a shot at Poland.
Yeah. And when the Russians got through, then the Germans
Germans
did
would
it and
take
drove
over,
them
yep.
back out. And, I mean, they have really, they've got a lot to lose. But boy, I'll tell you what, they are hanging in there with aid to Ukraine and aid to NATO.
They're survivors.
That's right.
That's what you got to really give them credit for
They're a
this
tough
history.
bunch of people, too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be with
got
that kind of history.
Oh, yeah. So, they're going to meet today. And my question is, you know, this is a no-brainer. But watch Biden. There's a rift. And it goes back to Obama. Obama hates the Brits.
Yeah.
They were a colonizer, you see.
Yeah, okay.
And Obama, the first thing he did when he took office was to send the bust of Winston Churchill
Yeah,
back. Yeah. I mean, that set the tone for our relations.
Yeah,
with.
that was not a good move.
No, I mean, that was just pure ignorance. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens today with this meeting. I don't think much will come of it, and I don't think Biden will have much to say about it.
At this time in history, I shouldn't say history, this time and on the timeline, political timeline, a lot of this stuff that all these people are doing is for photo op.
Absolutely.
Because you got an election coming up next year.
Bingo. And you can see Biden making the plans to retreat to the cellar.
Yep.
And by the way, his press secretary there said he's going to take questions. They both will. So Peter Doocy dug into it from Fox News. Yeah. Each participant's going to get 2 questions asked of them.
Yeah.
And they've already informed the 4 questionnaires who they are and
what the
question should be.
I don't put much stock in those kind of things.
No.
They're boring to watch.
Yeah. You know.
Of course, it can't be any worse than that town meeting or whatever they call it that CNN put on with Trump. Oh my God!
Well, it cost the president, or whatever his title was, the head of CNN, his job.
It should. That was just a political rally for Donald J. Trump.
And you know,
He took control of that, and he just, in essence, told him to shut up. I'll do what I want.
He just steamrolled that girl.
Rude.
Yeah. He did himself no
good on that. Yeah.
on that.
Well, see, the Trumpettes, they were hallelujah, but the rest of the world was. The rest of the world saw it as bullying, and it was pretty sad.
It was not a good performance. And by the way, have you noticed that he's gone a little bit low key for him since that?
You got advised that you're.
You know, if there are such things as heavyweights in the Republican Party, I gotta believe they have told him either cool your jets, or we're going to do our damnedest to beat you.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you're a disgrace.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. So anyway, I expect nothing to come of
I don't think there's
this.
What's on the table with them? No, there really isn't anything. It's how you doing.
Well, see, the Brits have floated out a trade policy with us where we really get down and dirty and help one another with trade policy, and the Biden administration has ignored it.
Yeah.
And that, again, is President Obama acting as president. If you have to pin down one guy that's calling the shots, it certainly isn't Biden.
No.
Now, I believe it's Obama and Mrs. Obama.
Oh, you want to believe it?
Yeah. So, and just one other thing here. I got mad watching this morning. The people flooding into this country. We have got supposedly 4 million names stockpiled of people that have asked to come to the U.S. legitimately and have made out the paperwork, and we are allowing, millions of people to come across the border illegally and go to the head of the line, jump over these people.
Yeah,
this is totally wrong.
That's what makes my son's father-in-law livid.
Well, it should. It makes me livid. I mean, we're not bringing in anybody from Ireland, England, Scotland. These are the people that came to this country and made this country great, and who died in wars for this country.
That's right.
And instead, we're saying, oh no, stay back. We're going to bring in these people who we don't even know who they are. We bring them in and we document them. We take down their name and put it on a piece of paper.
You can't document them
and give them a court date.
Yeah.
All right? And then
once you release them out of that center, they're gone.
We release them. I want to know, where do they go? Where do they live? How do they survive? How do they eat? Get medical help? How do they exist? And who do they talk to for advice and help when they don't even have the language?
Yeah.
What we're doing is a sin to those people, because we're bringing them over here. Oh yeah, AOC, come, well, our arms are open, come to us. And we put them right into poverty.
Yep.
I know where they are. They're begging on street corners.
Yeah.
And you know what, Dwayne? I see them every time I go shopping over to Roach Brothers in Millis. There's a woman, and she's got 4 kids, and she stands at the edge of the parking lot begging.
Yep.
I know, we stop and throw a few bucks in her tin can every time we go over there. But is this what they came to America for? They work, if they work, They're in little sweatshops. They're paid under the table, and they work long hours, unsafe jobs. They work as prostitutes for pimps that act as slave masters, and the children are sold and then put out to work.
Which
in
is
sweatshops.
really too bad because we got so many jobs that are going begging.
Yeah.
Last time, I don't know what it is now, but a couple of months ago, it was almost 6 jobs for every person available to do it.
Yeah. The morality, the cruelty of this policy is unbelievable. But yet, why aren't the liberals screaming about it?
Well, everything comes back to politics now. The Democrats and the liberal Democrats see an immigrant as a vote at some point. So they're willing to do they don't care about them personally. They see them as votes.
Dwayne?
The other side sees them to, I don't know, something to exploit. It's everything's coming down to this divided political scenario that we've got today, which is, it's going to ruin this country.
I don't believe this country will allow its legislators to come up with any legal path to illegal immigrants that cross the border.
Nope, somebody's going to throw the monkey wrench in it.
Well, the only way I can see it happening is if a president tries to do it by presidential decree. And then the Supreme Court will get involved
That's right.
in it. And that'll be the end of it. But I can't see that happening. And as far as I'm concerned, and I got notes in here, I'll discuss them right now though. As far as I'm concerned, anybody that comes into this country illegally can never become a citizen. Maybe they can get a green card and work here, but they can never become a citizen. And I'll even go a step further.
That's not unreasonable.
No, and I'll go a step further and say that their spawn should not become citizens either. I don't care if they're born here or born from wherever they came from. They cannot become citizens either. Otherwise, we just cease to become a country of laws.
Yeah. If you came in here illegal, you should not have a path to citizenship, because all that's doing is encourage the next person
Of course.
to come in illegal, and the next person, and the next person.
Yeah. Come on in. The water's fine.
It worked for him, so let's do it.
Yep. Yeah. It cannot be allowed.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're absolutely right, though. This is their master plan. And when we have both houses of the Congress, we'll ram something through. We'll get this thing cleaned up, and we'll get amnesty for them. They've even floated out a plan.
You can't say the left is any better than the right, or right any better than left. They're all rascals. I would like to use a different term, but we're on the air.
Yeah.
And they're all in there for themselves or their party.
Yep.
They don't give a tinker's damn what it does to the country.
That's right. Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think there's a handful of them that are still decent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not 100%,
No.
but there's enough of that core that right now you got a core that are mad because of the debt program. So there's 12 or something throwing monkey wrenches into the ordinary things that should get done. Well, I'm not going to cooperate now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm mad. So, and I want I.
Yeah. You know what's interesting too is Joe Manchin. You know, he's walking this very thin tightrope between the Republicans and the Democrats.
Right.
The Democrats are furious at him.
Republicans,
I mean, Biden would shoot him if he had a chance.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But the Republicans are frustrated because they say, why don't you grow a backbone and join the Republican Party, for heaven's sakes? You know, and we can work on straightening this crap out. But you know, the Democrats are scared to death of the 2024 election. I was astounded this morning. I wasn't aware that it was as big a deal, but in the Senate, there's going to be 21 Democrats. I say 21, folks.
Okay.
It's that order of magnitude that are coming up for re-election, and only 7 Republicans. So we're going to take the Senate. The Republicans will win the Senate. Have to hang on to the House. They got to do something about broadening the support in the House.
You know more than I do on that. I will not go out and make any kind of predictions today. Everything's so damn volatile.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah. Hey, listen, one event could tip the whole thing
That's what I
upside
said.
down.
It's just
Yeah.
like everything sitting on a powder keg. You don't
You
know
know
what's
what
going on.
9/11 did to this country?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I tell you. So, I think the first thing that you and I need to talk about before we get into the crazy stuff, D-Day.
Yep, that was this Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Well, the 6th.
The 6th, Tuesday. And I neglected to discuss that on our last show. We
Yeah, I
sort
thought of that too afterwards.
Yeah.
I thought, we try to catch up afterwards.
Yep.
We forget that there were a couple of weeks or a week lag
Yeah.
by the time
Yeah.
time you guys see it.
But back on June 6th, 1944, we invaded Fortress Europe. American forces. They landed at Normandy. That day we lost 4,400 allies,
Yep.
Brits, Canadians, and U.S. citizens, soldiers. We drove into Germany, and think of the enormity of this, folks. 160,000 troops landing on Normandy
In 24 hours.
in those 5 beaches.
Yep. The logistics of it alone is mind blowing.
And who did it?
Yep.
General Eisenhower.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that to this day he gets credit for pulling that off. But he did. And 9 months, and we know one of the group too should be called out and recognized. The troops that landed, man, some of those guys are Omaha Beach, were slaughtered.
Oh, absolutely. There was a big difference between what beach you landed on.
That's right. Utah it wasn't any day at the beach, but it was nothing.
Some were
compared.
practically just walk-ins.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. But when you landed, all those troops on 5 beaches, and we got them all together. But one group too never seems to get the credit that the troops that faced the German fire at Normandy on the beaches, and that's the airborne.
Yep.
They went and dropped behind the German line.
And most of them were wrong, or
Yes.
dropped in the wrong spot.
Imagine.
They were all mixed up, all confused, but yet they formed themselves back
That's
into
right.
coalition, into groups that were fighting groups.
Yeah. And they joined,
Yeah.
like the infantry, and went with them until they could sort it all out. But they, to this day, the French people,
Yeah, they do. They're still very grateful on these kind
they
of things.
remember
Yeah. No, you're
those
right.
jumpers that came in. Just unbelievable. And folks, 9 months later, wait a minute, 11 months later, Adolf Hitler was dead.
It was the beginning of the end that day.
And Germany was destroyed. was a big cinder. And then, one of the greatest things this country has ever done took place, the Marshall Plan.
Yep.
We took Europe and put them on our back and carried them. We don't get credit for that either,
No.
as a country.
Because if we wouldn't have done that, it would just been, it went on and on of
They would have starved to
death
death.
and destruction, and they would literally starve to death.
Yep.
It-
And
we hurt ourselves doing it.
of course,
We established them new industries. We put new steel mills in for them, or steel production. We killed our own steel doing it.
we did. And there's no question about it. And for a while, well, I won't even say that. The Germans were still PO'd that we had defeated them.
Yes.
And they hated us.
Yep.
And they took our money, they took our food, they took our protection from the Russians,
Yeah, but
but they disliked. I saw that when I was over
yeah,
there.
you were there,
20
right?
years afterwards.
there was still, I think,
Oh.
that some of that feeling when you were there.
That's right. Oh yeah, yeah. But, and I think to this day, they're
Yeah,
educated. A whole generations have passed. There's still ambivalence towards the U.S. over it. You destroyed our country. Well, what the hell were they doing?
We didn't go in there by choice. That's for
God
damn sure.
Almighty! We went in there to save Europe, and to save freedom around the world.
I was surprised this year. Seemed like more this year. There was more recognition.
Yeah.
The Globe actually had some feature articles, full page articles.
The Herald for their they gave
Sometimes
it a
the
full
Globe
page,
don't.
too.
It comes and goes. They don't even mention it. The Herb Chambers was nice. He took out a half page color ad, not advertising cars, just thanking.
Yeah.
Step back and remember what happened on this date. I thought that was decent of him, good of him.
Yeah.
Of course, Macy's, they ran their holdover from the Memorial Day sale. They don't do anything but capitalize on these things.
Yeah. I know. One other point I'd like to make too is we give General Marshall a lot of credit, but he deserves a lot more. He was a brilliant who
absolutely.
saw what had to be done
Yeah.
and did it. We also should dole out some credit to the vainest man in the world, General Douglas MacArthur,
Arthur.
who took and lived in Japan after the war in the Army of the Occupation and wrote the Constitution for the new
there's
Japanese.
And the military has supplied some very smart people.
They have.
They do today yet.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
amazing as a group
Yeah.
how many super thinkers they actually have.
You know,
There are a couple that don't quite fit that description, but overall,
Yeah, I got a note in here about the Secretary of the Navy. Of all the problems the Secretary of the Navy faces, he said the biggest problem we have is climate change.
yeah.
Boy, that's really something. You know, this outfit in Washington, if they could do away with the military tomorrow, they would.
Oh, they would, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that goes back, I think, what you and I have discussed. You shouldn't ever be able to be president if you did not serve in the military.
Absolutely.
You just don't have the concept of what the military is. And I don't care if you weren't a general. You could be a corporal. You could be a sergeant. You could be a lieutenant. But you'd still get that idea what it is, how they function, and what they do. But these guys like Obama and Trump and Biden, they are clueless when it comes to military.
And what's even worse are the people that they appoint
yeah,
for their cabinet.
yeah, that just exacerbates the problem.
Dreamers, college professors. Good Lord. Well, we certainly have gotten off the beaten path here already.
Is that unusual?
Nothing is unusual about that. You know what? I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to talk about a couple of our feature stories.
Right. I got something here too. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a new scam. It is so absurd. You'd think nobody would fall for it. But it's happening all over the country. It's called TRBS. Trump Banking System is what it stands for. Now, you know that the Trumpers will believe anything, that certain group, that the election deniers and the QAnon people, it doesn't matter how absurd it is, they believe it. Well, there are some scammers out there who are pretty sharp. You remember when Trump had came out with his little cards, his like trading cards, and it showed him dressed as Superman, and they was charging $99.99 for them and selling them. You think, who the hell would buy those? Well, some scammers have went a little bit further. This also costs you $99.99.
I think I got that much with me. I'm ready.
They're not only one, there's a bunch of them now. I saw cards and they got coins and they got started out a rumor or these things that happens. I don't know how the internet gets a hold of them, but it spreads. Of course, the same people that believe the election denying and all the other, I just call them Trumpers because they accept that word of God. That when Trump gets elected in 2024, he's going to rip out the banking and money system in the United States and replace it with his own. He is now selling little Trump gold cards. They got his name on them, picture. They're really classy looking, and little gold coins. They are loyalty coins and loyalty cards. They're $99.99. These will be worth up to $10,000 once he's elected.
This is a no-brainer.
This is a no-brainer. Now, you worried about don't worry about it. They're guaranteed. You can take them to a list of banks, Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, Target. Who else? There was a couple more stores.
I don't go to Target anymore.
And cash them in. Get your money back.
Wow.
Well, yesterday Home Depot put out a thing online. Don't come in here with these things. They had so many people coming in trying to cash in their Trump token.
These people are actually buying
Bank
these?
America has put them out. Don't buy these because they're worthless. People are coming in and wanting money for them. They're buying them. I said, what a couple of they took an unusual situation and made a scam out of it and pulled Trump into it and pulled the Trump supporters into it at the same time.
You know, 20 years from now, Trump trading cards.
They might be worth something. Yeah.
Collectors will
Who
buy.
the hell knows? They buy anything.
Yeah. But this is unbelievable.
They're called TRBS, Trump Banking System cards.
Well, you know, I had, I answer the phone every time the damn thing rings. Susie looks at the caller ID and says, "Oh, that's probably a scam."
Usually, if I don't know them,
I answer it. I have been getting calls 3-4 a day. Hello, are you tired of paying high prices at Comcast?
got the same one.
Yep. And so This is Comcast calling.
They've got a special discount.
That's right. Hit 1 and we will connect you with hit 2 and you can talk to a representative who is standing by. So I hit 2
Okay.
and he comes right on.
You got bigger ones than I got. I won't touch it.
So he said, "How can I help you, sir?" He said, "You're looking to lower your bill." I said, "No, wait a minute. Before we get going here," I said, "So you work for Comcast?" "Yeah, I do." "Yes, I do. Whereabouts are you?" "Miami, Florida." I said, "Oh, beautiful. Okay. Well, let me ask you something. On my phone's ID, how come you're Fred Smith from Bellingham, Massachusetts?" Click.
Oh, yeah. They come by any kind of name or number they put on them.
Yeah. Unbelievable. And yet, I know there are people that are getting sucked into this.
Yep. The other day, I got 2 calls. I didn't answer the first one, and it was so close to the second one that there was hardly a break between it and the second one. And pretty soon, there comes the voicemail for one and the voicemail from the same company. One has got some, I don't know, Oklahoma address on it, and one has got maybe some local address. It's the same thing. And back to back. I don't know how they maybe got one for Monica and one for me, but boom, boom. And
No,
but that Comcast or in fact, why would they give away money and they don't have to? You're not threatening to leave them.
You save 40% on your bill for the next 3 months.
They're not going to give that money away.
So I got mad. And I said, "You're pitiful." I said, "You're a pitiful liar, and you're going to rot in hell for this."
I bet you're scared of Bill.
Well, no, but here's what happened. And, of course, my bride was quick to point this out. I got 5 calls from that Comcast outfit within about an hour.
Okay.
They said to themselves, "Okay, pal.
We'll bombard him."
Yeah, we'll bombard you now.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more thing here, and then we're going to jump into something. I've been doing business with Foxborough Federal Savings and Loan here in Norfolk for a long time, and before it, over in Foxborough. They have been bought out by Norwood Bank.
Okay, I did see something about that.
Well, the Norwood Bank is now going to be the dog that wags the tail.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have obviously, I believe, have got a PR outfit they're working with, marketing outfit, and they've changed their name to One Local. That's the name of their
Well, I did see something in the paper about that.
4 or 5 outlets that they have. One Local. I can't think of a stupider name to name a
That's pretty damn
bank.
dumb.
Yeah, I mean, if that's something, and you say to yourself, One Local, oh, that's a union hall. I mean, where else can you think? You don't think bank when you see that. So whatever, let's see, here's a heads up for you guys at One Local. Whatever you paid that PR outfit to pick that name for you,
Get your money back.
get your money back, or threaten them with a lawsuit, because that's about the dumbest thing you could have ever done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my anger.
I was I don't know what the hell it used to be. It's Rockland Trust there and all over.
Yeah.
Used to be
It used to be the Foxborough National Bank.
That's it. That's exactly what it was. And there was something before that when I had the mortgage with them.
No, it was Foxborough National Bank forever.
Was it?
It was owned by the Foxborough Company.
All right.
And that's where
Yeah,
I
that's
did
right,
all
it
my
was.
banking.
It seemed like, though, every time I'd order a new box of 400 of checks, the bank would get sold. And I'm sitting with 3.5 boxes of checks. They're no good.
give them to the kids to bring
Yeah.
to school, and they can teach the kids how to run a checkbook. That happened to me in high school.
Did it?
Yeah. Miss Thayer, in our business course, said, we're going to pretend that we're businessmen, and I've been to the bank, and I've gotten blank checks. And we are going to have a 2-week time frame where we're going to do nothing but checkbook stuff. That was the greatest 2 weeks.
All that kind of stuff should be taught today. Right? But I know they don't use checks anymore. The kids don't.
And then she did 2 weeks, or actually, it was actually 2 weeks twice on the stock market. What does the stock market do? Da 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 da. And then, at the end of the first 2 weeks, she says, now you're going to pick. I'm giving you, I forget what it was, but I think it was $100,000.
Okay,
Play
then-
money?
Yep.
You're going to buy 5 stocks, $20,000 in each stock. And then, in June, before you graduate, we're going to total up all your...
See where we are.
Yeah, and see who wins.
Very, very good.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, you learn something from
They
it, too.
do. Yeah. And even the goofy kids
Yeah.
said, this is interesting, But, anywho. Well, what shall we deal with here first?
I have a question for you.
Go ahead. Let's have it.
This relates to the local, or not local news, international news. What do you think Kakhovka Dam in Ukraine, who did it? Or was it nature?
Oh, okay. Well,
Kakhovka.
now
I can't see it.
apparently that had explosives planted in the dam
Yep.
months ago. Now, who planted them? Who planted the explosives?
I don't know.
Now,
Neither one wants to claim it.
yeah. You can make a heck of a case. If we could ever figure out who planted it all and wired it up, well, that's who exploded it all.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I could say, if the Russian troops had flooded into this area, we could have wiped out a lot of Russian troops by blowing up that dam. And we could have, that could have been a hell of a defense mechanism. Would have killed a lot of our own people, too, unfortunately. But destroyed a lot of property. And then, of course, the Russians. It's a wonderful the word is wonderful, but terror technique. So
They're known to do with dams. So they have a history of that. But also they showed online. They got pictures of the water had already starting to go over the top, and it was not being maintained. And Russia did not. Russia had control of that dam, and some of the speculation is that they just plain screwed it up. They didn't let the pressures where they should have done, and it got out of control.
Russia and screwed up
Or one
go
of the same.
together.
Yeah.
Okay, like coffee and cream.
Yeah, I that's the biggest thing about this Ukraine Russian is that I was shocked at how poorly the Russian military is run and supplied and facilitated.
It is amazing
Everybody's so afraid of them.
that there's no such thing as a battlefield promotion.
No,
If
everything's segmented.
If the captain gets killed, you just sit on your haunches until a new captain arrives.
Nobody's trained to move up.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's all right.
Well,
Let them do it. That's
yeah.
great.
I mean, in the tanks, some of
Yeah,
the World War II tanks.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Russians, the big advantage we have over them is they're not innovators. They're copyists.
Copiers.
Yeah.
But when you got to go to Iran to buy drones and artillery shells in North Korea. That's sad.
It is. It really says something about your operation. My money is on the Russians doing that.
Well, mine is too.
Yeah, because I think they're the ones that installed the dynamite.
Yeah, mine is too, because Ukraine still has to live with Ukraine regardless of the outcome. If they've destroyed croplands and stuff by doing this, they're in essence going to be destroying their own stuff, and I don't think they're going to be doing that.
No, they would have been messing their own mess kits.
That's right.
Yeah. The Russians are just stupid.
They are stupid.
To do that.
There's no question about it.
I mean, we saw so many different examples of that during World War II. I mean, if you really reduce this to its lowest common denominator, all they supplied was people to die.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. They did nothing else.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that the Russians did that.
Okay, I agree with that. I just
And
wanted
by
to
the
see
way,
what your opinion was.
So I still want an answer from Joe Biden. I still want to ask him the question, what is the end game here with Ukraine? And if he says, all right, both sides have more or less come to a halt, and this is now a war of attrition that might last forever, we need to get them a negotiated peace. Well, okay, Joe, that sounds great. But who in the hell is going to repair the Ukraine?
That's right.
No, I don't think billions. I think trillions of dollars.
Well,
it's
everything
gonna
is.
take.
The infrastructure is
Yes,
shot.
the Russians have achieved one goal, and that is to destroy a lot of the infrastructure of the Ukraine. They've set them back. If no one helps, they've set the Ukrainians back 30 years.
Oh yeah, if not 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right back to the Stone Age. So, guess who's going to be in there with untold amounts of money? Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Rides again. And we'll see how Europe ponies up cash to repair that. I'll tell you what, I got a tough time seeing the Germans, the French, and some of the others ponying up more than 2 dimes and a nickel.
Maybe at first, but I think it's going to drop
I
off.
think that'll get old fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll save face, but you're right. It's like right now with the war. We don't talk about it anymore.
No. Well,
But yet we are still spending money on it. And we in this country spend money like it's not a national treasure, but that's what our money is a national treasure. We can do so much good with our money. Is this the best way for us to be spending it?
no, of course not. But
As the old guys say, is that the hill we want to die on? I don't think so.
But again, the military spending is not total waste though either.
No. Well, anyway,
Yep.
I found a conversation on the internet about pet peeves.
Oh, when I sat down and started going through these, I thought, oh my God. And I thought, well, maybe I should do my category. But then I said, nah, hell, until they come, I'm just putting them down. But then I had to be careful. I said, how many of these are marital related pet peeves? I said, am I going to be able to go home?
Yes, am I going to have supper tonight? But some of these, now, Did you go find the website with the 70 pet peeves on
No.
it? No. Okay.
I had enough just to what irritates the hell out of me.
Oh, good. Let's hear some of your favorites.
People who talk during movies
Well, by gosh, by golly, that's right on my list too.
or let their phone ring and then answer the damn phone. We were at a movie one night in, I don't know, North Attleboro someplace. His phone rings two rows back, and this woman starts talking to this somebody. Well, I don't know where we're going. Where do you want to go tonight for dinner? Blah, blah, blah. And in her normal voice. Not, I don't want to know. I mean, like she was standing on the street corner.
She couldn't say, wait a minute, and get up and walk out to the lobby.
Oh, no.
That would have inconvenienced
would
her.
be-
She would have missed part of the movie.
Yeah.
Hooray for me and screw you.
I hope somebody hits her in the side of the head. What he did. Another one. That we used to go to, friends had lived in Upper Saddle River, and we'd go down there and we'd go to Broadway shows. Then we went to a couple in Boston also. We saw Cats. And the tickets were not cheap. These things are pricey. And there's a song in Cats called Memories. I think it's the
Yeah.
most beautiful song,
Yeah.
one of the top songs I've ever heard. And I probably got the name wrong because I'm not really good with celebrities. But Sarah Campbell or Sarah somebody, she's a star on the Broadway stuff, is singing it. Two a-holes behind me decide it's a rock concert and they're going to sing along. I turned around. I says, "Do you mind?" Well, they didn't see anything wrong. Well, they wanted to sing Memories with her.
Were they holding hands?
I don't know. I was so damn mad at that point. I just said, "Shut up." Did she ask you for help? I mean, how rude can you be?
I know.
Oh, yeah, just go ahead. You can go on. We probably going to cross over here somewhere.
Yeah. Well, talking during a movie, I can just cross that one
All
off.
right.
This is irrational. And my wife tells me, give it up.
Okay.
But whenever we are seated in a restaurant, and the hostess gives us our menus and say, can I get you guys a drink? I say, my wife is not a guy. She's a lady. The look on their face. I mean, and the bride thinks I'm crazy. But that drives me nuts.
Well, see, that's one of your pet peeves.
Yep.
Yes.
Someone loud chewing or loud drinking
10.
is another one that drives me nuts.
I got one related to that.
Go ahead.
I knew. Well, this guy was a pig. He couldn't sit by him when he eats. He gets his mouth all full and it's always being thrown out because he got to talk at the same time.
Mouth noises while eating.
Yep. He was so rude, and he was a vice president of a retail company that I worked for. And we were in Florida meeting with a supplier that supplied our those days the car stereos, you bought the tape decks and all that kind of stuff. He sat at that table, and there was people on, and he talked and he spit. I bet you everybody at the table, the people on the side got stuff from him. And he was dirty looking and sweaty, and God, he was gross.
how the hell did he become a vice president? I know the answer, that his father founded the firm.
Damn near. They were buddies. They were friends. And they were...
I was in the army with him.
Nah, these two never mind. They wouldn't. Are you kidding? They were preem puffs. But, oh, man, just disgusting.
People constantly looking at their phone. I've actually said
That's a
to
sickness.
people. I'm sorry?
That's a sickness.
I've actually said to people, am I boring you? Is this conversation boring you?
Yeah.
That you're looking for an out? Just tell me and I'll end it. What do you mean? I said, you're looking at your phone all the damn time. Well, you're too sensitive.
I don't think it's sensitive.
I mean, I felt like saying, you're too ignorant,
Yep.
but I ended the conversation there. But, jeepers.
Well, that's not much.
creepers.
That's just like you're having a conversation with somebody and the phone rings and they take the phone over the conversation.
Yep, that's a beauty, too.
And they don't know who the hell's on the other end
No.
of that phone.
No,
It could be somebody like from Comcast, you know?
I've had that happen, and I've said, excuse me, but I'm waiting for a call. Let me just take this and see who it is.
Yeah, that's a different story.
That's a different story. I'm waiting for somebody to call me back, whether we got the order or not.
That's right.
You know? What, you got another one?
Oh, God. Dog poop.
Oh, boy.
I like dogs, I like cats, but don't you poop in my yard.
Take it with you.
That's right.
And it's very easy. These bags, the newspapers come in,
Yep,
you
that's
just
right.
put it on,
That's right.
pick it up, and then
Peel
turn
it
it
back.
inside out, turn a knot in it, no touching.
Yeah.
They can't even do that.
I just got a thing about letting somebody come in your yard and letting their dog do their duty and then walk away from it. I don't get that in now because we don't have there's a sidewalk across the street,
Neighborhood,
but
per
we
se,
gotta,
yeah.
plus we're back off the street.
Plus, the leash law is pretty. You know what? Anybody that lives where you live would have to keep their dog on the leash
Yeah.
because of the traffic.
Yeah, 115 would kill them.
Yeah.
But when we lived in Brockton,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God, and there was a guy on the top of we lived on a big circle.
Yep.
He came in and he went around and go out the same circle, top. He was the most cantankerous, irritating, and he wasn't old. He was middle, well, we'd call him young now, in his 40s. And he had a white German Shepherd. Oh my God. That dog fertilized the entire neighborhood. And I don't think there was a neighbor on that circle didn't want to kill that dog or kill him. I
Yeah,
wanted,
keep the dog, but kill
I was
him.
painting my house. And this is gross, so if you're eating, stop. But I'm climbing up a ladder, and I get to the top of the ladder, and I said, what is that smell? I look down here, I had it on my feet, and I've got it all over the ladder climbing up. I wanted that dog now. And I would have throttled him. And the owner. You really can't blame the dog.
No, you can't. The dog is.
It does what a dog does, but
Yeah, it just, probably here's my number one:
okay.
being late.
I got that out of the top too.
Yeah.
Not the top, but
And by the way, I'm not so. I am referring to people being late,
right.
But I'm also referring to me being late.
Yep.
I can't stand it.
me neither.
No,
I always got to watch that I'm not too early.
that's right. Yeah. I've heard the comment. What are you afraid you're going to miss
Yeah. I'm not afraid
by
of
not
missing anything.
being 15 minutes early?
No.
Aye.
You know, we all start out, well, you do too, I'm sure. If you got an appointment that's time sensitive, say you got you're meeting somebody for dinner and you got a reservations at 7:30, and it's normally a half an hour drive. Well, I don't leave at 6 to get there at 7:30, or 7 to get there at 7:30,
Right.
because I don't know what's going to happen on the way. I could do traffic, anything, and then there's consequences on the other end. I'll leave earlier and get there earlier.
In that scenario, I would leave at 6:45.
Yeah, me too.
Give 15 minutes.
And even if I'm too early, I'll sit in the car.
Yeah. Well, we can listen to the radio.
Yeah.
One of your stupid
Excuse me.
sports shows.
I love the pollen this time of year, as you
Yeah.
can tell my voice and coughing.
How about people who stand too close when you're talking to them?
Yeah, close talkers.
Yeah,
Seinfeld
close
called
talk.
them.
That's right, yeah.
I've run into those.
But here's another one that really gets me mad. Drivers turning without using their turn signals.
That's an epidemic in Massachusetts.
Is that so bloody tricky that you can't think of two things at once? Hey, I gotta make a left turn. Hey, I gotta put my left signal on. Two things,
Yeah, too.
interrelated, and you can't handle it?
Just this week, I followed somebody for quite a ways, and we were just happened to go in the same spot. I said to Monica, that guy in that black SUV in front of us has not used a turn signal from the time I started getting behind him. It must have been 15 different turns that we should have. Not once did he put a signal on.
I went over to North Attleboro, down Route 1, to make the arrangements for our lunch that
Yeah.
we had the week before. There was a truck in front of me, a couple of cars, and there was some traffic. And this guy, in and out, he made 4 lane changes without using the signal. And the abrupt ones.
You watch that patrol live thing
Yeah.
on Friday and Saturday night? They stop people. Why are you stopping me? You didn't signal 300 feet before you made that turn.
Not in Massachusetts, they don't
Monica
stop
and I
you.
look at each other. They couldn't stop writing tickets here because nobody bothers using any turn signals. You can buy a car in this state that's 10 years old and the signal light lever is brand new.
Brand new, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Friends, we're getting the signal that our first portion of the show is over. So this is a time for you to have a room stop. Go get a couple more cans
Is
of
that what
beer.
that meant? He's going like this.
So we will be back and we will continue with pet peeves.